Hello and welcome back to Hyperplay. 5 reasons why GameHub may be a better choice for you when it comes to emulating PC games on Android than Winlator, and conversely, at the end a few reasons why you might prefer to go down the Winlator route. First of all, one great benefit of GameHub is that it sets everything up for you, and usually in the best possible way. It'll go and download the version of Proton or Wine that best suits your game, along with the graphics drivers and the wrappers, and will point you in the right direction. You don't have to do anything. Sure, you can go through and scroll through the list of other ternit drivers, for instance, and it will helpfully highlight the ones in white, which will also be worth a try for your game. But the default settings on GameHub, auto-configured, are usually tickety-boo, and you can just go straight into your game from there, which is absolutely fantastic. No need to tinker endlessly in confusing containers. Our second awesome benefit of GameHub is that once you're in your game, you're actually able to change the settings quite beautifully. And we do mean beautifully because you can toggle HDR on or off from GameHub's in-game side menu. If you're lucky enough to be playing on a capable device like we are with our Retroid Pocket 5, what's HDR? High dynamic range. Brighter whites, darker blacks, and colours that truly pop. And that is a fantastic option to toggle on and off. So if you just look here, we've got it on, and look at Ochet's red shorts. They go a slightly less bright shade of red when we turn off HDR. So HDR, a superb option to try. It could make the graphics grab you like never before. Now, HDR is possible in Winlator as an environmental variable that you need to enter yourself, wine_HDR_enable, and with the value 1. But we found it doesn't make a huge difference, and it's frustrating not being able to turn it on or off in-game. But gloriously, you can in GameHub, and we highly recommend giving it a shot. Another excellent option from the side menu is Super Resolution, and this allows you to sharpen up that pixel palette. Super Resolution makes everything that little bit sharper, reducing blur and noise around character pixels and text, and is very useful indeed. We wouldn't recommend going all the way up to 5 in terms of sharpness, so we prefer to leave it at 1 or 2 on the sliding scale. It should also be noted that if you leave the sharpness up at 5, it can reduce your FPS by a few frames per second, because all that sharpening up is taxing the GPU just that little bit more. And it should be noted again that in the shortcut options in Winlator CMod version 13.1.1 that resolution increasing has been introduced in the form of VK Basalt, and you can choose between CAS or DLS. We prefer DLS, and the sliding scale here is a percentage, and we've gone for about 20%, so yeah, which would be the equivalent of 1 out of 5 in terms of GameHub's scale. 20% about right. You go above 20%, as we said before, you'll start to see a dip in your frames per second. But yeah, toggle it around and have a go. Again, this is only available in the shortcut in Winlator CMod version 13.1.1, and you can't mess around with it in the game itself, unfortunately. We've actually found it to be, again, as with the Wine HDR enable environmental variable in Winlator, we found the resolution settings to be less effective in Winlator CMod v13.1.1 than they are in Gamefusion's GameHub. GameHub just seems to get these things spot on out of the box, and is frankly a lot more user-friendly when it comes to messing around with these graphical effects. We should also mention that in the sidebar settings in-game, in GameHub, that you can toggle on and off various other useful information, like the aforementioned frames per second, and you can see how hard your CPU and GPU is working, along with how much RAM is being used up to play your game. All very useful, especially if you are into reviewing applications like GameHub and Winlator like we are. Now then, moving right along to our fourth reason as to why you might prefer GameHub to Winlator, and that is in relation to a standby feature that not many people know about in GameHub. And there are a couple of layers to this. The first one is that you can go out of your game, access different apps, go and see what else you're downloading, go on the internet, watch a YouTube video, bring back up your game window in GameHub, and you'll have seen that it paused nicely, and you can just carry on where you left off, which is superb. You can't do that in Winlator. Too often the game will just crash back to the Winlator homepage and you'll just be seeing containers in front of you and no game. There's another strand to this, even more important, is that you can press the power button on your device and your device will go to sleep as normal. So your screen will be turned off, and we turned it off for a minute and we tapped back on the power button and yeah, we're straight back into the game. We couldn't believe it, so we tried it again. Tapped on the power button, left it off for a minute, and yep, sure enough, we'd gone straight back into the game. The game hadn't carried on in the background, it had stopped exactly where we wanted it to, and the device didn't seem to heat up, so we thought, we'll put this to the test properly. 8 minutes on standby. Tapped the power button on our Retroid Pocket 5, came back, and there we are. Absolutely glorious, brilliant standby. No crashing back to the main GameHub menu like we've seen before with Winlator. No, we can get straight back into our game, and the device stayed cool as well, crucially. No point having a good standby if your device is going to burn up in the background. But no, the standby function, absolutely superb on GameHub. I should mention that it's not flawless. We did continue using the standby and sometimes it would crash out of the game, so do always save your progress. But by and large, standby works in GameHub. It does not in Winlator. Our fifth and final reason to prefer GameHub over Winlator is that GameHub will give you the option of having your game represented as a shortcut icon on your homepage, which is superb. It's a small touch, but we really like it. We don't have to go into the GameHub app. We don't have to go into its menus and navigate anything. We can just tap on our Octopath Traveler 2 icon and we're into the game. Absolutely glorious. Those were your 5 great reasons to choose GameHub over Winlator, but GameHub isn't perfect, and in terms of Bluetooth controllers and connectivity, you're much better off going with Winlator CMOD version 13.1.1. You can see our video about that. Also, there are issues with regard to the allegedly dodgy ethics of GameHub, as it's affiliated with EggNS, a discredited and very naughty Nintendo Switch emulator that apparently stole a lot of code and ripped off people's data, and those concerns remain around GameHub. Sometimes GameHub just won't take no for an answer when it asks for your Bluetooth and particularly location information. So be wary if you're not comfortable with potentially shady Chinese apps knowing where you are and what you're doing, then maybe don't go with GameHub. Otherwise, give it a shot. If you found anything interesting at all in this video, then please do tap that thumbs up button. And if you really want to be a hero, then please go the whole hog and subscribe, especially if you want to win now at Winlator, or indeed GameHub. We've got loads more cool stuff coming. Anyway, many thanks for watching, take care, and all the best. Bye bye.